Madeline, I have a question. Obviously, your office is well aware of the demand and the request for Section 8 housing from the community. I think we all are as well. My question is there anything we can do, for instance, if we go to Washington on our legislative trips, is there any way that we can be productive in obtaining additional Section 8 funds for the city, or are there just too many links in the chain before it comes down to us in Glendale?
Mr. Chair, members of the Housing Authority, that's a good question, and I would say we should make every effort to two things. One, I think we want to continue to pursue the allocation of all of our LA City portable vouchers to get those to be actual Housing Authority vouchers in the City of Glendale, and we need to work on that. And secondly, I think the legislators need to continue to know the importance and the need for these vouchers. I mean, it's an expensive program, but I would say it would not hurt to have it on the agenda when the city goes to Washington.
May I recommend that the staff look into that and have something ready for us upon our next trip to Washington and place it on our list of priority items, at least with regard to the Housing Authority, because you never know, the slightest interest or expression of need may trigger some funds to come out. So.
Absolutely.
Mr. Starbird.
In that regard, Mr. Chair, Mr. Adjourn, from my perspective, as I've watched the staff work hard over the last number of years to increase our allocations, just as important as lobbying, in fact, probably more important than lobbying, is making sure that your programs are run effectively, that all of the vouchers that you receive are leased up so that in HUD's eyes you're performing well. And then when there are opportunities, they'll likely smile on you and look to you when additional vouchers are available. We were very effective several years ago when LA City was having difficulty, frankly, utilizing all their vouchers. We stepped up. We volunteered to help them out, and as a result, we got a number of LA transfers. The same thing has recently happened with respect to LA counties. They've gotten themselves in a bit of a bind with HUD because they haven't been able to get all of theirs placed. So through relationships with them, we've begun to make inquiries about our willingness to again step in. And of course, what HUD's concerned about is that those vouchers get used and the money get put to work. And with Glendale's very favorable track record, I think we're always in a good position to take advantage of those kinds of opportunities. Probably more important than trying to go through the front door and get an increase are those opportunities that you just have to be aware of, and with a good track record probably stand a better chance than most of getting more than your share.
Curiosity, can you get a line item in the HUD programs? Or is it pretty hard to get a line item?
I would say it'd be very difficult on this.
So you can make a pitch for the program itself, but trying to get a line item for Glendale is going to be tough.
And I think also maybe talk about opportunities to capture as permanent those temporary vouchers that we have from Los Angeles right now. That's 1,300 vouchers.
Well, if you show the track record of having done it for X amount of years,
and we continue to have
good justification.
Challenges working with Los Angeles.
And I know, and I appreciate that staff is very well, I'm sure, aware of the opportunities as they arise. But please feel free to let council know if there's anything we can do either at the state or federal level or county level. I'm sure that our constituents would be very appreciative of any sort of additional Section 8 funding we could obtain.
Those are very good comments. Any other comments? It's been moved and seconded. 6A1. May we have a roll call, please?
Authority members Najarian?
Yes.
Parazian?
Yes.
Quintero?
Yes.
Weaver?
Aye.
Yosefian?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mincy?
Yes. Do we have any authority member comments? Yes, Laura.
May I have a comment? Since today is election day, I'm coming from the polling place, and I must tell you that the polling places are so slow. The voting turnout is approximately 10%, and I'm asking everybody to get up and go vote. Thank
Very
you.
good. In fact, I might make a comment that one of the things that I'm working today in the city clerk's office to assist, and they are really anything, any question, anything that anyone has in any of the polling places, there's someone on it right away to make it that much easier for people and take care of any problems. So it's going very well today. So thank you for your comment. Is there any new business? Mr. Weaver, I bet you would like to adjourn.
Yes, I would.
Second.
Moved and second, we are adjourned at 2:45.
Oh, wait, what am I saying?
Bob is still here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Glendale Redevelopment Agency meeting of April 3rd, 2007. May we have a roll call for the agency, please?
Agency members Manukian, Najarian.
Here.
Quintero.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Chairman Yusefian.
May we have your report, please? Here.
The agenda for the April 3rd, 2007 regular meeting of the Glendale Redevelopment Agency was posted on Thursday, March 29, 2007, on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
What's next, please?
Approval of minutes.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. The minutes will stand approved as submitted. What's next, please?
At 4 is oral communications. Discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Members of the redevelopment agency may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The matter may be referred to staff through the executive director for investigation and report.
I have no cards. Oral communication will be closed. What's next, please?
There is no business agenda. Is there any agency member or staff comments?
I hear none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
We're adjourned.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the joint public meeting of the Glendale City Council and the Glendale Redevelopment Agency of April 3rd, 2007, being called to order at 2:45 p.m. May we have a roll call for City Council?
Council members Manukian, Najarian.
Here.
Quintero.
Here.
Yusefian.
Here.
And Mayor Weaver.
Here.
May we have a roll call for the agency, please?
Agency members Manukian, Najarian.
Here.
Quintero.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Chairman Yusefian.
Here.
May we have your report?
The agenda for the April 3rd, 2007 joint public meeting of the Glendale City Council and the Glendale Redevelopment Agency was posted on Thursday, March 29, 2007, on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Thank you. What's next, please?
At 1 is Director of Public Works and Director of Development Services regarding the March 15, 2007 decision of the California Public Utilities Commission authorizing the construction of the at-grade crossing at Flower Street. At 1A is a council motion authorizing staff to commence environmental review, coordinate with the City of Los Angeles regarding enhancements to certain shared at-grade railroad crossings, including the closure of Doran Street Crossing, and authorizing the city manager to take all actions and execute all documents in furtherance of the commission decision. At 1B is an agency resolution appropriating $4,800,000 to provide funds for construction of at-grade railroad crossing at Flower Street and other safety improvements on Grandview and Sonora at-grade crossing as required by the California Public Utilities Commission.
Thank you. With that, I'll go Mr. Starbird, who will go to...
Chris Sansoni, with legal. Chris?
Good afternoon, members of the agency and the council. On March 15th, 2007, the California Public Utilities Commission authorized the city to proceed with the construction of an at-grade rail crossing at Flower Street. The decision approved 2 unopposed settlement agreements which provide for additional safety improvements to existing at-grade crossings within Glendale, which are Sonora and Grandview, as well as shared crossings with the City of Los Angeles at Chevy Chase and Broadway Brazil. The decision also ordered the city to use its best efforts to close Doran Street Crossing, which is shared with the City of Los Angeles, with the cooperation and assistance of that city. Among other things, the safety enhancements will include the installation of pre-signals, state-of-the-art 4-quadrant gates, raised medians, grade changes to optimize track elevations, and the implementation of an advanced traffic preemption system, which will override regular traffic signaling well in advance of approaching trains. The parties to the agreements, the city, Metrolink, Union Pacific Railroad, Caltrans, Walt Disney World, and the Commission's own Rail Crossings Engineering Section staff all agree that there will be increased safety for the traveling public in the Glendale Metrolink corridor. To quote the CPUC's decision, taken together, these safety improvements will sufficiently reduce the risks to motorists, bicyclists, and pedestrians. We find the two unopposed settlement agreements are reasonable in light of the record, consistent with the law, and in the public interest. Now, within 30 days of the Commission approval, the decision obligates the city to begin environmental review and to authorize funding in the amount of $6 million for the safety improvements to the rail corridor. The city and the agency's action within that 30-day window provides a showing of good faith that the city is geared to make the safety enhancements as a priority commitment. By adopting the motion before you today, we will be taking the first step in our agreement to move forward to enhance safety of all the rail crossings specified in the decision. And in the near future, the rail crossing safety enhancements will be brought back to you in further detail when the staff returns with a completed CEQA analysis and possibly for the approval of additional funding, should it be needed for the final design when the more refined construction costs have been estimated. That really completes my report. In the audience today is Kathleen O'Prey-Truman from Truman and Elliott, and, of course, our staff to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My only comments on it is, out of any tragedy, always look for a silver lining. And the silver lining out of it is the state-of-the-art intersections that we're going to be putting in at every rail crossing in Glendale, which I guess will be the first in the state of California. And so the other cities across this state will be looking to Glendale to see what we've done. I know in the briefings we've had, I mean, it's going to be awful difficult for anybody to have an accident at the intersection. They'll have to drive up between the intersections and go on the tracks like they could do it any time they want. But it's going to be a great thing, and I know the other cities will look at it, because undercrossings or overcrossings are a lot more expensive than this. Mr. Starbird?
Yes, just quickly, I think that's a good note to reflect for just a second, Mr. Mayor, that Metrolink was an early and active supporter of this settlement agreement. And as such, I know if the executive director were here, and he was very active in going to San Francisco with us and working with the CPUC staff, he was quite an advocate on behalf of this whole program. I know Mr. Solo would tell you that Glendale's efforts for them are a model for other communities in Los Angeles County. And Glendale will be the launching pad for their sealed corridor project throughout the three-county area that they provide services in. So I know this effort is not only important for Glendale, but is also very important for Metrolink as a model for rail safety.
I imagine across the United States eventually. It's state-of-the-art. But
With that, we'd recommend approval of all the actions.
how many times did you go north? It is.
I quit counting.
Yeah. So the public knows, Mr. Starbird spent a number of trips up north with PUC and staff to work this out.
Mr. Mayor, I might note, thank you for that, but I should recognize that your transportation staff,
Oh, I know, you didn't do it
headed up
alone.
by John O'Bagdanian and working with our team, Kathleen, Chris from legal, tremendous amount of hours and effort over the past 3 years on this effort, but just as importantly has been the Council's commitment to rail safety. Frankly, without your support for putting a tremendous amount more resources into this effort, it's likely we wouldn't be sitting here today with a successful outcome, but that's only possible because of your support for improvement of all the crossings, which has been a key objective of yours from the very beginning.
Can't wait to
So
see it
thank you.
done. Okay, is there a motion at 1A?
Question.
Mr. Quintero.
When are we going to, the Chevy Chase crossing, when are we going to actually start working on that?
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, the settlement agreement specifies that we have 30 months to upgrade or improve the shared crossing. Those are the ones south of, and that includes Chevy Chase. So we will be working with City of Los Angeles because we share that crossing for the design and upgrade of that one. Within the next 30 months, we still have to do environmental on it as well, but that would be the time frame that we will be working on that.
And are there any issues that come to mind on that particular crossing that are going to make it unique, or it's going to be a pretty standard?
No, regionally there was some issues with respect to the closure of that, which we were not going to close it. It's going to be pretty much putting in new, railroad gate, crossing gates, putting in this advanced preemption system that will be unique for this corridor. Those are the type of things, nothing that, and we've met with the City of Los Angeles, the Department of Transportation, and they're on board with us.
It's probably going to be one of the simpler crossings.
Exactly.
No capacity increases or any of that, so.
I recommend that your staff, sort of take the lead and let all of the residents of that neighborhood know, and the businesses on the other side of the crossing on the Glendale side, let them know that there's going to be improvements, that there's no talk of closing it, et cetera, et cetera.
That's a good point. The residents should be very pleased with this.
Right.
So we'll be telling
make
them
sure they understand
every
and know
intersection, they'll know.
going to take place there, not that
Point.
there's a renewed effort to talk about closing it or whatever.
And
Yes, we
part of the
will do
reason should be because they'll see construction activity, wondering what's going on, so alerting them wouldn't hurt at all of them.
Is there a speaker?
No.
So there's a motion at 1A.
Move 1A for council.
I'll second it, and I want to make a comment, and that is that I'm very happy that we're going to do these upgrades at the different locations, at the different crossings. Just like you mentioned, Mr. Weaver, I think it's going to be a unique situation, and I'm going to go ahead and vote, and of course that Fairmont overpass, and I'm going to go ahead and vote in spite of the fact that my feeling is that Flower Street crossing just isn't needed. And had we not entered into a contract with Disney regarding that crossing, I would have been opposed to it, because as I look at this map, I see the crossings at Western, at Sonora, at Grandview, and then that Fairmont crossing. Quite frankly, I just don't think that Flower Street crossing is going to be used that much, but hopefully we're going to be able to block off any entrance into Pelanconi and cross traffic, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm happy to see it, and I'll support it. But
Well, based on the traffic loading I see on San Fernando every morning that are trying to make a left turn on Grandview into the DreamWorks, Disney, ABC sector, I can just imagine when Disney has another 1,500 employees in there, I have a feeling that flyover will be very heavily used rather than try to drive up Grandview and wait for a light. So,
yeah, no, the flyover, I agree. That's going to be the key to moving people in and out of the project.
okay, roll call, please.
Council members Manukian, Najarian,
Yes.
Quintero,
Yes.
Yusefian,
Aye.
Mayor Weaver.
Aye. I'll second it.
1B.
There's a motion and a second for the agency. May we have a roll call, please?
Agency members Manukian, Najarian,
Yes.
Quintero,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Chairman Yusefian.
Aye. Motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn the agency?
So moved.
Second.
Agency is adjourned.
Is there a motion for the council?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Stand adjourned at 2:58 p.m.